1v2, and they will not let it happen at any cost. They've been in this situation before. They cannot afford for another 1v2 to not go their way. They need to make it happen. They'll be a bit more conserved, not jumping down willy-nilly, and they can't even because the maps are there.
Could just run out. It's cost them so much, but he's the front man. He's the damage. SwizzY finds it, though. What a good win, what a good day, and what a good tournament for SwizzY and Putrid.
Слушай, блядь.
Сотка.
Я прыгаю,
Убил одного, убил, на ХГ.
Слушай, блядь.
Наши билды. Смотри. Моя.
70.
Убил. Сюда. Убил?
Найс.
Устроено.
Вот.
Попробуй в него дипнуть, если можешь. Кракнул. Найс! Да, мы выиграли, это уже 100%, нахуй. Просто мы выиграли в ФКС ебаный.
This is SwizzY. Many people don't know him, but he is one of the only Fortnite players to ever win an FNCS Grand Finals in 2 different regions. SwizzY won FNCS in Chapter 2 Season 8 in Asia, and then he won the recent FNCS Major 3 in Chapter 4 Season 3. This is the story of SwizzY. SwizzY started his Fortnite career like many of us. He started very early playing tournaments on Asia for fun. His first ever tournament was the Blackheart Cup, and he placed in the top 139. Although he didn't make any money, this gave him hope. As you know, later on, Fortnite announced the biggest tournament ever, World Cup.
This is your road to the Fortnite World Cup. The Fortnite World Cup starts on April 13th, when all eligible Fortnite players from around the world will be able to compete in the weekly online opens. Each online open has a prize pool of $1 million. That's 10 weeks and $10 million up for grabs. And it's all online. In each region, the top performing players from the online opens will earn a spot in the Fortnite World Cup Finals in New York City to compete for their share of a $30 million prize pool. The fans will be loud, the money big, and the atmosphere electric as the top players take the stage to be crowned Fortnite World Cup champion.
SwizzY played Week 1 solos of the World Cup and only placed 98th, earning himself $150 and his first earnings ever. He went on to play Week 1 duos of World Cup, and he placed outside of money with a placement of 422nd. This made him lose hope, but he kept on grinding, and with all the weeks of World Cup left, SwizzY actually did not make any more money off of World Cup, which means he did not qualify for the $30 million World Cup Finals in New York. Although SwizzY was down, he continued on playing because Fortnite announced Winter Royale. Winter Royale was a duos format tournament where if you place in the top 250, you make money. And this was a big opportunity for SwizzY to come back and make some more money. So SwizzY paired up with Floki, and they didn't do too good, placing 383rd, 760th, and 804th, thus not making any money from Winter Royale. But SwizzY kept on playing, but didn't see any success until Chapter 2 Season 7, where Fortnite hosted its first solo FNCS All-Star Showdown. This is what SwizzY needed, a solo tournament where he could show off his potential, and that's exactly what he did, placing 3rd in round 1, 63rd in round 2, and 75th in round 3. And in the finals, he placed 22nd. Even though he didn't make any money, this boosted SwizzY's confidence and motivation to keep on playing. And in the same season, he popped off in FNCS Qualifier 2, placing 5th in round 1, 1st in round 2, and finishing 34th in round 3. Although he didn't make the grand finals for this, it boosted his confidence even more. And just 2 days after, in the Trio Cash Cup, SwizzY got first place, getting himself $350 and his first earnings since World Cup. And with FNCS Qualifier 3 4 days out, he was looking good. And he played good, getting 22nd in round 1, 1st place in round 2, and 19th in round 3. And in finals, he placed 5th, making his first ever Heats appearance and a chance to make his first ever Grand Finals, which he did by placing 3rd in Heats, qualifying for the FNCS Grand Finals. And just 2 days after this, in the Trio Cash Cup, he placed 3rd, earning another $250. And again in the Solo Cash Cup, he placed 4th, earning another $200 to his name. And in SwizzY's first Grand Finals, he did pretty well, placing 12th on day 1 and 19th on day 2. Finishing an overall of 17th place, earning himself a whopping $400. With his recent placements, SwizzY was feeling good, and the placements kept on coming. Just a month after FNCS Chapter 2-8 was here, and in Qualifier 1, SwizzY didn't disappoint, qualifying to the weekly finals and placing 7th in it. And in Qualifier 2, he did it again, placing 6th in the weekly finals, which qualified him to the semi-finals, but he ended up placing 1st and made his 2nd Grand Finals ever. And this is where SwizzY showed the world who he was. In Grand Finals Day 1, he placed 2nd. And in Day 2, he finished 2nd again. So overall, they finished 1st place, winning $1,200 and the FNCS Champion Pickaxe. SwizzY continued on Asia, winning several Cash Cups, Elite Cups, and placing very, very well. But he was not done, and set his heights higher. And around December of 2022, SwizzY made the switch from Asia to Europe, which others thought down upon, as Europe is the hardest region, and that SwizzY would not be able to keep up with the pros like Malabuka, Thomas HG, Seti, Kami, and many others. SwizzY started his EU journey with the placement cups not doing too good, and he didn't even make Elite his first try, but he played in the Challenger Cup and placed 4th. So now he was in Elite Division, and this was his time to shine in the weekly Elite Cup. And he made finals in his very first one, but unfortunately he didn't place high enough to make money. But in the very next Elite Cup, he placed 12th, earning himself $450. And in the next one, he placed 4th, earning $900. SwizzY showed the Fortnite community that the switch was smart, and he could keep up with the European pros. And he was right, he was dominating. Even placed in the Solo Late Game Cup, making himself $150. But SwizzY didn't want to place in just Elite Cups. He wanted to place in FNCS. And luckily for him, FNCS Major 1 was on its way, and SwizzY picked up his Asia duo, Shmoky. And they dominated, qualifying for the finals, but unfortunately they did poorly in the finals, placing 46. They were still on track to qualify for Grand Finals, and in Week 2 they did even better, placing 5th in the finals. Unfortunately in Week 3 they did poorly, not making it past Round 2, but their placements in the other weeks solidified their spot in Surge Weeks, where they placed 9th, earning their spot in the Grand Finals and both of their first FNCS Grand Finals on EU. SwizzY dominated Day 1 of Grand Finals, finishing 2nd place. But Day 2 went bad. They finished 35th, which made them place overall 9th, earning themselves $10,000. And although they did bad Day 2, this was a confidence boost that they needed. They kept on grinding together in hopes for a win, because on their first FNCS Grand Finals, they placed 9th on the hardest region, so they knew they could definitely win. And as there was 2 more FNCS majors they have a chance in, during the FNCS break, SwizzY earned multiple times at the Solo Victory Cups and in the Duo Cash Cups, making his name even bigger in the EU region. FNCS Major 2 rolled in, and SwizzY and Shmoky were ready, practicing and grinding, and in Week 1, they won the finals, making their spot in Grand solidified. But they weren't done yet. In FNCS Week 2, they placed 7th in finals, which qualified them straight to the FNCS Grand Finals, where they didn't do too good, placing 31st Day 1 and 22nd Day 2, placing an overall of 26th place and only making a total of $2,500. SwizzY and Smokey were down after doing so good in week 1 and then doing poorly in week 2. That SwizzY decided to drop Smokey and picked up Putrid for week 3, their final chance to qualify to the $4 million Copenhagen land. And in week 1, SwizzY underperformed, not making it past round 2, and their shot to Copenhagen was not looking good. They needed to perform well in the last 2 weeks to even have a shot to make grand finals. And in week 2, they made finals, placing only 24th. That means they needed to do at least decent in the last week to make grands. And going into the last week, SwizzY did not pass it round 2. But fortunately, they placed high enough in round 2 that they barely made grand finals. This was their final shot to show the world that the switch to EU was the right call. And that's exactly what they did. In grand finals day 1, they finished first, dominating all the EU pros. But could they keep it up on day 2 to secure their win? And that's exactly what they did. Day 2, they placed first again. So they finished overall first, winning $100,000, showing the world that they're the best players in the world. That FNCS win made SwizzY one of Fortnite's only players to ever win an FNCS in 2 different regions alongside Muzz. This was the story of SwizzY. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys drop a like and comment down below any suggestions. This is my first ever story of video.